Hey guys, welcome to today's video. And yeah, the title is true and I'm going to get into it. Don't worry, I'm okay. This is not going to be like a ex-spouse bashing video, but I am divorced. And so I'm just going to share a little bit of where I'm going now in my journey and get ready. So I think I will start with some primer. I'm going to use this Smashbox Vitamin Glow. I got this in like a little holiday kit and I was like, oh, you know, I probably should use this. It has a very orangey scent and it's kind of like a hydrating vitamin serum. So I'm going to show you really quickly what I'm going to be using and then I will start chatting. But this is the Belle Jordan palette from Makeup Obsession. I got this from Target a few years back. I'm going to be using the Rose Romance from Jaclyn Hill, my Urban Decay Stay Naked Fix, It Cosmetics CC Cream. I've got this new Anastasia concealer, my Buxom, whatever, lip liner, my brain's fried, a NARS in Dolce Vita lipstick, which this is a very great everyday color, Anastasia loose setting powder, translucent, and their eye primer, and Buxom mascara. So that's pretty much everything. Oh, and I have my Prosecco Pop Becca highlighter. So that's kind of where I'm going. Anyway, let's just jump right in. So I'll give you a little bit of backstory. So me and my husband actually have been married for 15 and a half years. And about 4 years ago, he was in an automobile accident where he got a concussion that led to a traumatic brain injury that basically changed his personality. It changed, you know, who he was, what he wanted out of life. And shortly after that happened, we ended up moving to Houston. And unfortunately, if you followed me then, you'll know that was like one of the roughest times in my life. And I was just so depressed because I just felt like every day I was just waking up living with a stranger. And it was just so hard. And I was so far away from my family and my friends, and I was just like, what is happening? It was difficult. So that was when I kind of dove in headfirst into fitness because I was like, I am dying, I need to do something, I'm not okay. So that's how I kind of got into the fitness realm. And honestly, that just like helped and saved me so much because my husband was going through so many health issues that he didn't understand and that were just really hard for him, and chronic migraines, chronic pain, a crazy work schedule, and it didn't end up being what we thought it would be. Anyway, so I lived there for about a year and a half, and then I ended up coming back here because it was getting to the point where it was just too hard for him to really be a dad and be a husband and be around us all the time. And I had every intention of going back, but it just never happened. I didn't want to go home to someone who didn't want me there or wasn't ready for me to be there. And so I stayed. And that was pretty awkward because it's like, oh, hey, are you married? Yeah. Where's your husband? Oh, he lives in another state. And it's like, okay, you know, it's just weird. It's just a weird in between. But like over the past 2 years plus that I've been here, I've kind of been mourning the loss that the person that I married and the relationship that I had just wasn't the same anymore. It just wasn't going to ever be the same. And that was really hard to kind of come to terms with. And I think it was really hard for my, I guess now ex-husband to tell me like, hey, like I care about you and I love you as like the mother of my children, but I'm not in love with you. And that was really, really hard to hear. But at the same time, I already knew it. I knew it because of the way he acted. Not that he was ever unkind to me, but you can just tell when someone looks at you when they're like, I love you, like they're engaged. And he just seemed kind of in like a cloud, you know? And I really did fight as hard as I could for my marriage. I mean, I was solo parenting. We tried to get together like once every month or so and try to work things out. And literally, I probably would have killed myself going on for the rest of my life trying to make it work because I just did not want to accept that this was the end. I did not want that for my kids. I didn't want them to grow up with their parents being divorced. And eventually it ran out. Like time ran out. Things started changing to where he was going to be moving back here, and I could just tell that he was really scared and hesitant. And so I just kind of was like, you know what? I just want to know where you're at. Like, you just need to be honest with me so I can move on with my life. And he was just basically like, yeah, this just isn't going to work. So there was no like big fight or big like drama or nothing like huge happened. It's just like a long, slow death of someone who went through something traumatic and it changed who they were. And we are like very amicable. We get along just fine. We have done everything for the divorce already, so that's already done. We co-parent and discuss issues, and it's really not an issue. And I know people kind of are like, so why did you guys get divorced? And sometimes I'm still like, I don't really know, but at the same time I'm like, I deserve to be happy and to be loved and to be cherished by somebody, and he deserves that too. And if he's not happy in this relationship, then I don't want him to stay and force him to stay, and then he's miserable. You know what I mean? It's like, it's kind of just the hand we were dealt. And, you know, at the end of the day, at least for me, I can speak that I, you know, did everything I felt like I could possibly do to make it work. Probably even more than I should have, because there's times people were like, dude, Amber, like, you gotta let it go. Like, it's not gonna work out. And I was just like, no, but if I love him extra, it will make him love me back. And that's just not how love works, you know? And nobody should have to be like forced to love someone, and no one should like have to force somebody to love them. And so it's been okay. It's still been really hard. He's in the process of moving back to Utah right now, and so that's going to make things different because we haven't really seen each other since the divorce. But I want my kids to have a relationship with him. I want there to be that closeness involved. Will it be awkward when either one of us starts dating? Yeah. Will it be weird having functions together and seeing each other? Yeah. But it's just kind of part of life, and a part of life that a lot of people experience. I know I'm not the only one that's been in this boat, and I've had a lot of people reach out to me who have been through separation and divorce and just be like, Amber, it gets better, it gets better, it gets better. And so I'm holding on to that. So for those of you who have reached out, I shared this on Instagram kind of in real time. So a lot of you guys who follow me there probably already knew this was going on. But I just appreciate so many of you guys that follow me there that reached out and have been kind and just offering, you know, support, and it's just been really nice to have that kind of, like, it's been nice to have encouragement from other people and just feeling like, you know, it can get better. I deserve better. I'm ready to have happiness in my life, because honestly, the anxiety and depression I've had in the last 2 years have been worse than any other time of my life. And at some point, you just have to recognize that the cause of that is just because you're in a relationship that's not working and you don't know how to fix it, and you just kind of have to know when to wave your white flag, so to speak. And you know, I deal with some of those feelings of feeling like a failure, or feeling like, oh, you know, but at the end of the day, like, I know that, you know, everybody has their choices, and I can only make choices for me, and I did the very best I could to be the best wife, and I'm still focusing on being the best mother I can. And it doesn't have to be negative to my kids if I don't like make it negative. I don't speak ill about him. I mean, and he's fine with me just saying it like it is. Like, if I say he doesn't love me, like, that's just the bottom line. Like, he cares about me and loves me as a person, but not in love with me. And that's just where we're at. So, so I think my kids have kind of adjusted well, because we haven't lived together for over 2 years. And so because we had this like separation period, I think it was a lot easier for them to kind of come to terms with, okay, mom and dad can still love us and not be together. Mom and dad can still do things with us separately, and, you know, big events together, like, you know, birthdays or things like that. We can do that and still be harmonious and not make it like super awkward. I mean, it's all going to be awkward in the beginning, but I hope to get to that point where it's less awkward. So, we will see how that goes. It's something I'm still a little nervous about, but you know, I'm trying my best. So life going forward, I am adding more hours at work, so I'll be working in my salon a bit more, and I think that'll be good. I feel like I have enough people who've been interested in coming to me. I feel like I've really went through a lot of like mental health journey this year, and I've really worked on me and finding myself and being comfortable being alone and parenting them alone. I feel like I'm a little farther along in my healing process. So I feel like I'm doing okay emotionally. I know that people are like, oh, how are you okay? And I, you know, I can talk about it and I'm not upset and I'm not crying because I'm just like, I can see how, even though it's not what I wanted and I'm not the one who filed for divorce, I can see how in the long run it will be better for both of us to move on and to be able to co-parent peacefully. And he needs to find out who he is and what person he is and what he wants out of life. And I can find someone who really loves me and wants to treat me like a queen and wants to share their life with me. And so it's just kind of scary thinking about all that. Just because it's hard feeling like you're so alone, but I have a lot of family and I have friends, and you know, I'm hopeful for the future, and you know, I don't know when things will happen for me. It's God's timing. So I mean, I may be single for 6 months. I might be single for 6 years. I might never get married again. I don't know. I'm not putting any parameters on myself or any kind of anything. I'm just letting the world and universe and God lead me into the directions I need to go. And we'll see what happens, you know? But really my main focus is going to be providing for my kids and providing for myself, and focus on my relationship with them, focus on my relationship with myself, and also doing self-reflecting of like, you know, what kind of person do I want to be, and so I can prepare myself to have another relationship in the future. And I think this is always a good time to reflect on yourself and things that you did right and things you did wrong, and just be honest with yourself, because I think there was a lot of things that I needed to be honest with myself about, and learning and growing, and I think that's all part of the process. And so I'm trying to turn a negative into a positive and grow from this experience, and I feel like I'm doing the best I can considering the situation that I'm in. And, you know, my ex-husband really wants me to be happy. He doesn't want me to be miserable, and, you know, he just doesn't want to hurt me anymore. And I think for a long time he just thought, like, by not telling me how he felt, he was, like, preventing me from being hurt, and then he realized by stringing me along that he was hurting me more, and it was just, like, feeling, like, caged in, and he's just like, okay, I just need to set you free. And it's like, there's a sense of relief, like, okay, I feel like this is the right thing, even though it's not what I want. I feel peace, and I feel like a weight taken off of me that I just don't have to worry about it as much anymore. So it's a weird feeling unless you've been through it. It's kind of hard to explain, and I know a lot of people would tell me, like, you know, once he makes this decision, you might feel better, you might feel, and I'm thinking, how could I possibly feel better? The person I've loved for more than half my life doesn't love me. Like, how could this ever feel better? But it's weird how I think, you know, God heals your heart and makes you see things with open eyes, and realizing that he sees and hears conversations that you don't hear and thoughts that you don't know about. And so even though it's really hard, I still feel like it's for the best in the long run. So, I mean, co-parenting going forward will be a little interesting, especially now having him here. So, pray for me. But, you know, I really don't have anything, like, negative to say about him, as far as, like, I wish him well. Like, I wish that he figures out who he is. I will always love and care about him as a person, and I'll never want anyone to, like, think that I hate him or that there's, like, bad blood or anything. It's just simply two people going in different directions in our life at this point. And that's okay. You know, that's okay. The biggest thing is just keeping things positive for my kids, and keeping them giving them a safe space where they feel like they can talk, that they feel like it's okay to share, and it's okay to love both their parents and want to be with both parents. I don't want to make my kids feel like they have to choose or whatever. And I know things get all tricky. But I think relatively we're doing the best we can, and yeah, so I'm moving onward and forward. It is a little scary to think about dating with 3 kids because there's so much more to think about than just yourself. And when you're 20 and dating, you are dating someone based on a promise of what they're going to be. When you're in your mid-30s and dating, you're dating someone based on what they actually are. So it is nice in that aspect of it's being a little bit older and being like where I am in my life and what I want. I don't want to date someone who's like, I don't know what I'm doing and I don't have a career and I don't know. Like, okay, by now you should be kind of knowing what you're doing, you know what I mean? So, I don't know. It's quite terrifying, actually. And I know everyone moves on in their own time, and so we'll just see whatever that timeline ends up being for me. I know it'll be weird for like my friends and family or mutual friends of ours to see either one of us move on. I think that's always awkward, you know, when you like know a couple together. Oh, I forgot to do my highlighter. Whoopsies. But I think because we're on good terms, hopefully that'll help other people be on good terms. Because he really doesn't want anyone like thinking ill of me or, you know, that kind of thing. And so really there's nothing else to be said. I'm okay. I'm single and I got this. I can do this. I can do this. I can do hard things. I mean, I've already been through so many hard things. I mean, what else is one other hard thing to do? I know it's like a natural thing for people just to be curious of like, well, what happened? Like, you guys seem like you were so happy. And I don't really get offended if people ask me questions because I think it's just a natural curiosity. And I know that I felt the same way, like, oh my gosh, what happened? You know, it's just because you're just like, I don't know, it's just kind of interesting. So, and I've had a lot of friends that have said, you know, they were able to find their person after divorce and that they were able to find someone that they were just like, this is the person I'm meant to be with. You know what I mean? And so I'm hopeful for that. Like I said, I don't know what the future has for me. I don't know. It's kind of weird because I think, is anyone even going to be really interested in dating a 30-something mom with 3 kids? Like, I don't know. That just seems like a lot to have someone else want to take on. So I might just be single forever. And you know, that's okay. I have my kids and I have my family and I know that they love and support me and they're there for me. Team Amber, whatever I decide to do. So anyway, I hope to get back to filming a little bit more regular content. Everything was kind of going on before I did my last sponsored video, and I'd already signed the contract, so I had to do that, but it was really hard to kind of like get that all figured out and done. But I did it, and I just needed a little bit of time to just be like, whew. But things are coming along. Maybe my channel will finally blow up and I can support myself. I don't know. Probably not. I doubt it. But, you know, a girl can always hope and dream. So, anyway, that's everything. I hope you guys liked this makeup look. I just did some oranges and pinks and a nice peachy blush in the kind of everyday lip. So it's pretty much a good standard everyday look for me. So thank you guys so much for joining me, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!